Thank you so much again. And we are transitioning to AI-powered RevOps with Fullcast and Selena Eshkar.
Yes.
Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. How are you doing? What's new? What
Doing
changed
great.
since
Doing
December?
great. Just kicking off the new year, excited about all that's to come. We help a lot with annual planning, so it's been really great to be a part of our customers' cutover with the new year and making lives easier as we do it. So, yeah, it's an exciting time for us.
This is great. Selena, before we start, just share with us how do you see RevOps in 2025? We're kicking off the year. What's the big
Yeah.
trend?
RevOps is in a very exciting period. I feel like it's been known to be one of the fastest growing jobs in America over the past couple of years. As businesses look to keep scaling, there's a lot of consolidation, acquisitions, mergers going on in the space, and they are being more and more prioritized as the engine behind how to keep the boat moving despite all changes and make sure that the revenue targets you're responsible for are attained one way or the other. And yeah, it's really exciting to see them gain more and more of a voice in these organizations and be viewed as really the powerhouse that they are.
This is amazing. And are you already catering the GTM architects or like what's next after RevOps? What's the
Yeah.
role now?
Yeah, after RevOps, I think you've just got to focus on the sales team themselves, execution, making sure you're not getting caught up on more manual, redundant tasks or not doing the job as smart as you can. There's so much available to us now with AI, and really execution matters these days, which is why I love that you all are hosting sessions like this, helping people understand what's available to them and how to better execute.
Let's dive into it.
Yeah, let's dive into it. Well, with Fullcast, I think we've got till the 50-minute mark. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So I wanted to share a little bit about Fullcast and what AI means to us. I think, when we think about AI in the business space, there's a few different buckets that companies are focused on: automating routine tasks, smarter customer service, and more efficient operations. So I think a lot of what we hear about falls into those buckets. And the overall vision with AI in business, right, is to deliver more value with less effort. And something we're seeing here at Fullcast and focused on is it is 2025 now. AI is in the spotlight, yet we're seeing most companies still carving territories using spreadsheets. And what they're doing is essentially taking their entire addressable market, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of accounts to go after, and hundreds, maybe thousands of sellers on their sales team. And it takes them months and months to orchestrate the go-to-market plan. How do we figure out the verticals, the industries we're going after? What's the capacity of our team? Who's skilled at what? And how do we apply this to our addressable market to make sure that we are hitting numbers consistently? And when you see people doing this manually still and in spreadsheets, which are static and they become invalid quickly after headcount changes or data points change. And it's very difficult to keep up with manually and via spreadsheets. And especially when you're looking at the cost associated, months and months of time, on average, 10 to 20 people involved in the process. And we are seeing this as a big opportunity to make a difference for organizations, and really leveraging AI in your go-to-market planning and execution is the future of how businesses will run. And those that adopt it first will have that advantage. And something we're loving to see is our customers dominating their addressable markets and getting their products to market faster with Fullcast, and really just staying ahead of their competition by doing the work smarter.
This is
So
amazing.
I
It's your
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, it's your main competitor, correct? Like DIY solutions, basically.
I'd say our main competitor are spreadsheets. That is
Mhm.
what typically most organizations are using for this process. If we're to look at other platforms that we might hear of customers using, they're typically actually geared towards financial planning, HR management, marketing, sales. So tools like Pigment, Workday, Adaptive Insights, Gradient Works. These are all platforms that are, looking to help and expand into this area, but we're taking a different approach to say, our focus is RevOps, and our platform is built by and for RevOps rather than being more for like finance or sales and then trying to make it work for RevOps.
7
Yeah, let's do it. All right, I'm going to share my screen. Let's make sure you all can see this okay. Does that look good?
Yep.
All right, perfect. So to share a little bit about how we're helping teams with this, there are a number of components to our platform. We've got territory management, quota management, capacity planning, lead contact, and account routing. So I'm going to focus my time on territory management today. It's a very powerful part of our platform, one where we see AI being leveraged the most. So to give you a glimpse of what this looks like, here, when you click into Manage Territories in Fullcast, you're basically going to see this left-hand column populate your go-to-market segmentation. This looks different for every business that we work with, but as an example here, we're working with a company that at the all companies level, they've got, let's say when this loads, 178,000 accounts at the all companies level. Now, if you drill their go-to-market down a bit further, you're going to see that they split this up in geographic segments: America, APAC, EMEA, Global, LATAM. And when you click into each of these geographic segments, they are further segmented into enterprise, financial services, government, mid-market, SMB. So again, lots you can do here. There is no cookie cutter way we're trying to push on you. We want to get your go-to-market strategy in here and your business segmentation. The beauty of this is it starts to help you really visualize and understand what is happening in your plan and also your performance to plan so far. We see this UI being very valuable for teams that are collaborating with others during the process. So let's say sales wants to get marketing operations perspective or finances perspective, or maybe bring this to a board meeting and show here is how we're going to meet our numbers this year and how we've segmented our go-to-market. So this UI is super helpful for collaboration, for planning, for what if scenarios. What if next year we don't want to segment it this way? We want to do it purely verticalized. You can use the Fullcast platform to see not only where you're at right now, but what other scenarios might look like in the future. So as you see, when you click through these different segments and regions, you're going to see the same metrics at the top, but they're changing based on what you're looking at. So at the all companies level, we've got 178,000 Salesforce accounts. And we've built a metric here in Fullcast to define them as either tier A or tier B accounts. And the way that these metrics work with Fullcast is we essentially use your own Salesforce data to tell you a story using a formula. So for tier A accounts, again, customers all do this in different ways. Some teams might say, hey, what about the buying signals we've had, the email opens and engagements we've had, the meetings we've had over the past 12 months with this account? That might make it a high score, might make it a tier A account. A medium score might make it a tier B account. So we can help you really score and analyze the quality of the accounts in your territories and ensure that every seller on your team has a fair and equal shot at hitting their quota. I think as a seller myself, my question's always like, why is this my quota? Like, can I see how we got to this number, how it makes sense with the territory I've been given? And a lot of times I end up with no answers and really running a lot of Salesforce reports myself and then taking those reports to a one-on-one to see if I can get some answers. And Fullcast is really just eliminating this altogether, saying this is why your quota is what it is, and the territory associated, the potential of that territory, and then helps the leadership team actually track the progress in that region or territory along the way. So you'll see as we click through here, let's go into America now. Of those 176,000 accounts, 148,000 are in America. And you can see the metrics kind of change and the list of accounts within each of these territories change with you. To show you how we get to this point, there's a few other tabs I want to touch on here, but like I said, the quotas are all very closely aligned with your territories and the coverage, right? So if you've got overlay teams, if you've got maybe temporary coverage while someone's on parental leave, maybe you have an account executive and account manager associated to these accounts or this territory. Maybe you have an overlay sales engineer. We want you to manage everybody that's touching the territories in this go-to-market plan very seamlessly. You can even look back historically on who was covering it last year or last quarter. And you can even start to get proactive to say, hey, I know somebody's leaving the team. They just put in their 2 week notice. We need to replace them. So we're going to put in a replacement placeholder. Or maybe we're about to hire 5 new people. Let's go ahead and put these placeholders for new hires. Because once you're in this proactive zone with Fullcast, you'll notice people ramp quicker. There's no delays in getting quotas and territories out to people. The system is working for you, and that's really where you'll see the AI start to shine. So I'm going to get into that, show you a bit of it with the few minutes we've got here. So I'm going to edit these territories and we'll jump into enterprise as an example, America Enterprise. So you can segment your business in a number of different ways with Fullcast. We're going to focus on Smart Plan today, in the essence of AI. And what we've got here, Smart Plan is essentially a rules-based system that runs simulations based on specific rules that you've input to find the best outcome in terms of carving territories. So what we're going to do with Smart Plan is say, hey, within America Enterprise, I've got 5 enterprise sellers, so I'm going to need 5 territories. Maybe I want to cap it out so that each person has a max of 1,000 accounts per territory. So you've kind of set the framework here. And now you go into the balancing criteria. And again, you see some staggering statistics, like 80% of sellers missed their quota last year. And that's pretty intense. And it definitely is a driver behind the statistics behind rep attrition and how, especially in the SaaS space, rep turnover is very common. And a lot of it comes from people just feeling like they're not set up for success, or they don't have as fair of an opportunity to meet their goal as someone else on the team. And Fullcast is solving that problem. So when you tell us how many territories you need within this certain segment, you're going to come in here and say, first and foremost, we want to minimize disruption. We are not here to mess with your open opportunities, your strategic accounts. So you tell us, input the criteria to say, these accounts should stay with their existing owners no matter what. And we'll make sure that we honor that and we never disrupt any momentum in those accounts. The second step here is going to be balancing the accounts by certain criteria. So this might be where you come in to say, hey, I want all 5 of my enterprise salespeople in America to have an even number of tier A accounts. I also want them to have an even number of, let's say, an even number of accounts with an employee count greater than 1,000. And then you can keep going and keep going and keep going until you really have this very fair and balanced approach as to how you're going to segment these accounts across your sellers. I talked a little bit about metrics a little bit ago, just letting you know that we can tell you a story about your Salesforce data using metrics. So you might also want to pull in some metrics here, maybe bookings potential, maybe renewal potential, things like that. So you can further balance the territories based on these higher level metrics. So once you've input this balancing criteria, these are the rules that now Fullcast is in real time applying to your addressable market. Of course, when you're planning for an annual period, Fullcast is going to do a lot of the work for you. Instead of this taking 4 to 6 months to figure out across all your reps, it's going to take you maybe a week or so to do this. Depending on the size of your team, it might even just take you an hour. So it's very quick, very easy way to get this work done and be able to prove that it's accurate, that it's what you need it to be in order to hit your goals. So a lot of time saving here, but then once you put the plan, we're not just helping you with the plan. What happens when, come February, 3 people leave the company or 2 people get promoted or a bunch of accounts get closed won and now you have, to top off territories with new prospect accounts. That's all constant redundant work that needs to be done very scrappy in spreadsheets, and Fullcast is here to say, hey, save your time, save your resources for better, more strategic work, and we'll take care of this on the back end. And so what starts to happen is you'll see these yellow dots emerging next to your territories, which is Fullcast essentially telling you something's changed in your data or headcount, and we suggest your territories move in these ways. We can help with account families, parent-child accounts being in the same territories or not. And really just make sure that at the end of the day that you've got a balanced set of territories for your sellers. We've got balancers to help prove it, lots of cool reports and dashboards. So yeah, I'll stop here knowing we've got just a couple minutes left.
It is amazing. Selena, what feature is your favorite one for workflow?
I would say definitely smart plan. I think it's just really amazing to see how companies go from doing this exercise. It really takes weeks and weeks per team to going to just 30 minutes. And I think my favorite part of it is that it allows for more strategic, innovative thinking to where teams, instead of spending all their time on RevOps, just doing this more, manual work, Fullcast will do this for them and they'll focus more on what if scenarios. What if this happens next year? How can we be more proactive about this? What would it look like if we changed how we segmented the business? And you can just become more strategic as a revenue ops team. And that really is my favorite part, is seeing their work just change from more manual, redundant tasks to more strategic and innovative.
And people want to know what popular CRM platforms does Fullcast integrate with.
Yeah, so we're definitely built for Salesforce. Our founders built this for Salesforce while they were there leading global RevOps. But one of our largest customers is a Microsoft Dynamics user. So we do pride ourselves in having a very gritty product team, and we can make it work with other CRMs. But typically, Salesforce is the most common.
Then people want to know, yeah, it's more like a generic question, but
Yeah.
how does Fullcast help prevent revenue leakage in complex sales orgs?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that's really our bread and butter, is preventing revenue leakage. You'll think about little instances, right, that really add up, especially in organizations with hundreds of sellers, thousands of sellers, where somebody gets promoted and now their book of business might take weeks to get properly reallocated to the right people, right? So there's accounts going stale, and that happens from rep movement, whether they're being promoted, leaving, going on parental leave, things like that. Also opportunity holdovers. You've got new leads coming in. So revenue leakage we see happen a lot when leads, accounts, contacts, opportunities go untouched for a period of time. And typically that happens because of movement on the team. And what Fullcast is focused on is capturing that right away, saying, hey, this account hasn't been touched in 30 days. Do you want to move it to a different territory? Maybe someone else will do something with it. Hey, your rep just got moved from mid-market to enterprise. Let's move all the opportunities that are not in a later stage into a new person's name so that they're not going stale. So we're really focused on making sure that your opportunities, contacts, accounts, leads are being touched all the time by the right people. So there is no leakage just from a mistake or an account or lead slipping through the cracks.
This is great, Selena. I wish we could prolong this. Where should our community go? Is there any trial? Yeah, what's the next step?
Yeah, so unfortunately, because we're plugging this into your account data, there's no easy way for us to do a free trial, but we've built it into a lot of agreements for customers that want to sign up and get started, plug their annual plan in and start managing it with Fullcast. Built it into agreements to give some type of period during implementation of, openness in the contract. So we work with you if that's something you need. But overall, best way to do this is come get a demo with us. We completely personalize it and tailor it to your needs. And you can find me on LinkedIn and reach out, our company Fullcast on LinkedIn, or just go to fullcast.com and submit a demo request and we'll get right to you.